Was she pregnant?
The first step is Jeff is having to flush out the old pickling solution. First roadblock, that pump was getting way too freaking hot.
But what was that?
But why did, yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't get sprayed down.
Takes water to make water. Cheers, babe.
We haven't made any water though.
Well, we are making water today. Today is an exciting day, potentially. We are going to shore, pick up our order of our new replacement Watermaker parts. Yes, it has arrived. Bada bing, bada boom, we are successful. OMG. What just happened? Hi, we're Kristen and Jeff, and we've been fixing up our 40-year-old boat over the last 4 years. We sold everything that we owned on land for a life on the water. We've had our ups and downs, but we've finally set sail to the sun. Subscribe and come along with us.
I figured we would do a quick overview of the system as I've got it installed and just a rough 10,000 foot view of the different components that make up the system and how I've shoehorned it in here before we get into what it is that I'm actually working on today and trying to fix. So here we go. Let's just swap this camera over. Okay, here we go. Here she is, lying dormant, waiting for help because it just ain't been working out. So I'll just, using my finger here, try and give a little bit of an overview of how this goes down here. So we have from the through hull, which is underneath me over here, water coming up here, coming up right here, this line here, into the strainer, and we come out of the strainer and it tees. It tees because it runs to the toilet in the other room, and then it runs over to a three-way valve, which is just hidden right here, where I can control the flow that goes to the booster pump right here. And that's so I can either send it seawater from the strainer, or I can send it from this hose, which I can put into a bucket, and I can put a pickling agent or fresh water in here and allow it to suck it in and thereby flush the unit or store the unit, what have you. From the pump, it's going over here to a 10 micron pre-filter. And then we have a supply pressure gauge, which I added so that I can make sure that I have positive pressure on the intake of this guy here. So this line here is coming from the pre-filter right here. And that's where all the magic is. This sucker will bring it up to 800 PSI with this motor that's coupled to it. Here we have a high pressure pop-off valve. So if we end up going too high, in this case set to 950, this will just pop open and release the pressure. It's not really great to spray everything down, so it's really an emergency type situation, but it prevents this guy from being over pressured. This is a fiberglass housing, which is probably rated to 1000 PSI, usually what they are. I don't know this one because there was no name on it. The last owner just put whatever on it. So that's it. So then through the membrane into the high pressure gauge and the needle valve set up over here. This is where I slowly dial up the pressure with this guy and bring this up to 800. That's our operating pressure. So I'm sure you guys have seen this before on the internet. There's tons of discussions about water makers, but we haven't been able to get ours going yet. The problem is, I should say, we have got it going. We've had it running. It ran for about an hour. It was producing water at the right TDS, etc. The problem is this guy, rated to 39 amps, was pulling over 50 just for this. And after that hour, I started to smell some kind of burning. So for whatever reason, something's defective here. It shouldn't be this. This is just a pretty simple thing, but this may have been the issue. And so we've received a new high pressure pump. It's now a Comet brand instead of an AR. That's not really a big deal. All made in Italy apparently. But the new one is slightly less flow. It's 0.8 gallons per minute instead of, I believe this is 1. Double check that. I'm looking on the thing. 1.5, I believe. So yeah, this thing pulls about 0.55 horsepower. The new one will pull about 0.44. So we're looking to get the amperage down on this guy because it doesn't make sense to have this thing running obviously above rating, but also above rating or even at rating continuously. Not the smartest thing you want to do. I like to have about a 20% buffer in there myself, but I'm not an engineer. So here we go. Let's see what we got to do. Okay, so what I want to get into today is I'm going to put a T-fitting in this line here. So this is the output of this boost pump going to the pre-filter housing. I'm going to put a T and a valve here, and I'm going to connect it back up to the other side of this pump here, this side of the intake side. And that way I can bleed off some pressure and keep this thing from over pressuring the supply going into the pressure head. The reason why I say that is this thing is set, let's see here, 45 PSI maximum. There's a screw here on the front, and I can dial this back to change the PSI that it goes to. Like I said before, I want to keep about 10 or 15 on here. This is the supply. So what'll happen is it'll just keep punching all the way up to 45 or whatever I set it to, and then falling down. And so it goes tink, 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 and on, off, and it's just excessive. So what I'm going to do with the bypass valve essentially is make it so I can bleed off some of the pressure and have it so it sits when it's in normal operation about 15. When the high pressure pump is off, the pressure will climb up, but that's okay, it's for a short time. So that's the first thing I'm fixing today. Second thing we're trying to fix is, like I mentioned in the previous video, this guy here. We're gonna swap this guy out, and we're gonna swap out this hose. This hose is not the highest quality hose I've ever seen in my life. It's not all stainless steel, for one thing. It also doesn't have a swivel at this end, so installing this thing was a pain in the butt. So I now have a new hose from Parker, and I'm going to swap that out as well. So once those two things are done, we should be able to fire this thing up and hopefully not see it pulling too much power, and then we'll be in business making water.
I know I'm extremely excited, extremely hopeful that by the end of the day here we're going to be able to make some water from seawater. It's been a long time coming. Living here in the Caribbean is tough when you don't have a water maker yourself. We have to limit how many showers we have, we have to limit how much that we can clean the boat, do dishes, all those things. And it's just going to be a much more comfortable life once we have water that we can make ourselves. And also I won't have to try to collect rainwater myself because it doesn't work very well. Fingers crossed we have everything that we need, but you never know. All right, the first step is Jeff is having to flush out the old pickling solution from the water maker. That'll be about half an hour. In order to do that, I am going through the gauntlet here, first of all, but throwing our battery switch over to number 2 down here. And that sends power over to the water maker. And in true Joco fashion, we're working on multiple projects at once. Excuse me, pardon me. So we have the sail right out here. All of my material was making those diesel jerry covers. Falling. And we have the laptop out, just uploading a YouTube video right now for you guys. Everything is everywhere, vacuum. But this is what happens, 35-foot boat, things go everywhere.
Okay, so you're just going to throw a valve here and turn it on, and you're looking for, so if you get underneath there, you notice the red, the one that's marked red. That's red.
Red, yes, the clear one, okay.
And so look underneath there. I've got the valve there, the valve there with the handle pointing toward that hose where it's going.
Correct.
I think that's right, but when I fire this up, if water comes blasting on the other end, you got to flip that switch over to the side. So all you should see is water start to come out of the hose up top into the sink.
All right, here's hoping. Oh, good. Yes, it is coming out here. Perfect. Woo, it's very yellowy, disgusting color over here. Oh, it doesn't have a very nice smell either. Woo, wait. The water is coming a bit more clear now, which is good. The color was from the pickling solution, and the smell was probably from dead organisms that were in the lines from before. And luckily, we're not having any leaks or anything down here, so that's good. Use the thermal gun and take a couple readings.
This is one thing about the system. I don't like this pump, the way that it cycles like this.
Yeah.
This pump's not designed to run like this. It should really, I'm gonna have to add a fan or something, but I want to see what temp we get out of this sucker here. 93 right now.
First roadblock. That pump was getting way too freaking hot. You can see here we were documenting the time and the temperature increases that it was doing. So it's been about 15 minutes now that we've had it running. So Jeff is deciding to give it a little bit of a rest for now, turn it off, and he might put in the bypass before continuing to do the rest of the flush. Hopefully help with the temperature, because it's just getting way too hot. Well, scratch that also, because we need 1/2-inch tubing hose, I think, in order to put the bypass in, and we don't have any on board. And it's Sunday currently, and on Sundays where we are right now, everything is closed. All stores are closed. So let's go see what he's doing instead.
The one that goes in the bucket, we can use this hose to finish the bypass work and then replace it later. We don't need very much at all. So that's one way just to finish this testing and see what we get.
But you're taking something else apart right now?
Well, we have to swap this.
Oh, right.
As well. So I'm gonna just get water everywhere, I think, because I have no real way of controlling the water that's up in these lines and stuff. So maybe we'll get some towels.
All right, let's get wet.
Yeah.
He has asked for a blue bin, possibly can fit it in here and not get everything wet. We'll see. Unattaching the old one.
Yeah, we need these pressure valves. And move it over to the new one.
Don't think that we mentioned that the temperature today is like 30 degrees, it feels like 36, and there is almost 0 breeze. It's getting hot, so make sure to drink lots of water. Fun fact, we took this old juice container that we got, I think, in St. Thomas or something, and we just fill it with water, put it in the fridge up against the cold plate, and it gets nice and freezing cold, which is perfect for right now. Takes water to make water. Cheers, babe.
We haven't made any water yet.
Well, we are making water today. So we'll show you a little bit of an update here. I know it's pretty tight quarters in here. It's hard for me to get in here to film while Jeff is in here. So this is a high pressure pump that Jeff has removed. Out of commission now. We definitely have some cleanup to do down in here. And we will do so once everything is in place and working. Otherwise, we're just gonna create more mess. And Jeff is over here fitting the
Pop-off
valves onto the new pump.
So these fittings are the fittings that we had to wait for because this guy is BSPP thread.
Oh.
And our old one was NPT thread, of course, because threads never ever match up.
No.
So I had to move over this guy from our old one. That's that emergency pop-off. And the other issue was supply. This is the boost pump water supply, filtered water.
Yep.
And here's the output for our new hose. So that had to all be converted to NPT. So now I'm going to hopefully fit this on the motor, and hopefully this doesn't hit anything. Shouldn't, because I thought of it before.
Oh, because it's longer now.
Yeah.
With that extra
and
fitting.
We just need to line up the shaft here. So we're going to line up this. There's a keyway there, we call that.
Yep.
And we're going to line that up with the key that's on the motor, and then rotate this thing into place, and then put the bolts through here and bolt that in. And once that's
Sounds so easy.
Well, it is, I guess. We know what you're doing.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess it's easier, what, the 3rd or 4th or 5th time around that we've done this?
Yeah, let's get that off here.
And just like that, the high pressure pump is installed. Wow. Next up, the high pressure hose. Good job, babe. You're just knocking these things out left and right pretty quick. Good job.
All right, I thought maybe the viewers want to see this. So this is our new hose. Looks just like our old hose, except it's higher quality stainless steel hose. And noteworthy is it has these swivels on each end here. So it's much easier for me to install this without rotating the whole hose.
Easy install.
Here we go.
Here we go. Okay, you have the hose on. You're just putting the insulation back around it. This insulation also stops it from vibrating.
That's actually what it's for.
Oh, okay.
Normally this is pipe insulation to keep round pipes, keep them warm, but in this case it's because they have a tendency to vibrate a lot.
Interesting. So far, so good.
Well, we haven't done anything yet.
Well, but the installation of the new stuff, it's working. Just trying to stay positive here.
All right, I was going to put the bypass in so I could control the pressure on the high pressure pump. But I'm deciding that I'm actually just we're going to try running this thing and bringing it up to pressure full 800 PSI first before I worry about that pump, just to make sure that all my fittings that I've just done are correctly tightened and that actually does pull less power before I put more work into this thing. So we'll actually, we'll finish firing it all up. So we'll do another 15 minutes of rinsing, and then we'll let this thing cool off again.
And then the moment of truth.
And then we'll fire it right up, and we'll take some readings, and we'll see how much water we're getting, and we'll see if we're still getting the right TDS, by the way, after storing it for 7 months.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So we're looking for two goals here. Basically same water output, or very darn close, and then less amperage pull.
All right. Here's hoping.
Let's do it.
Firing it back up, and I'm watching. Or maybe not. To be continued.
Oh, whoops, this is wrong. I just ran it. So in the box out there, honey, there's a yellow oil plug.
Okay. Okay, he wants this guy. Hopefully, whatever this is, will work. Okay, he got it. And yes, we have water running. Double check. No leaks, good. So another 15 minutes.
No leaks over here so far at regular pressure.
Good. Jeff is just going to do a quick voltage pull check on the pump and see what results we're getting.
Wow.
All over the map because it's pulsing, you just said?
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that part.
It has a pressure switch on it, and so because the main pressure pump's not running, it's pushing it, it's running up against resistance, so it's going all the way up to its set point, say 25, and then it's turning off, and then the pressure makes its way through the booster pump.
Oh.
Pressure falls down to 20, and the pump goes, oh, I need to push again, and then it pushes again, and it just keeps going back and forth.
Oh.
So that's what I'm going to fix long term here. But the problem with this pump is when you do get it running all the time, it's bad for this type of pump. Then it overheats. So it's like a double-ended
sword.
They did give us a different type of pump, but I prefer to use this pump if I can make it happen because it self-primes and pulls up without having to have below the water line. We're right on the edge. We're getting to the point where it's very exciting, but also very, very nerve-wracking. We've tried to fix this thing so many times, bought new parts for it, got new parts provided to us by Sun Pure as well. We just don't trust anything anymore. No, we're very hesitant to trust anything. And also, like, what are we supposed to do if it ends up not working? Like, we've sunk so much money into this, we just don't know what the route out would be at this point. So we're just fingers crossed and staying hopeful that it'll work. We are almost ready to fire this thing up. So how do you think it's going so far? Are you happy with it? It's all working out?
Yeah, I mean, it went in there. We're not really at the stage to comment on that yet. We're going to know in a minute because we're going to go up to the full 800 pressure. Step one is to fire it up and start cranking it up and see if we get any leaks because I just did a bunch of connections, right?
That's very true.
And once we pass it, it's not leaking, then like I say, amperage, flow rate, and then TDS after. Make sure the water it's pumping out is actually good to go and we didn't fall behind somehow in storage mode.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And then we'll know if it's going to work out for us. And then our plan was to run this thing after our lead acid was in absorption, which is usually around, what, 1 o'clock? Depends on
noonish, depends on the day. Yeah.
So we have like a few hours of the day where we can run this thing, should be able to run this thing, and water is our battery. We're trying to be efficient.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know which side to look at because the camera is like
I think you have to look over here. Yeah. Over on that side, yeah.
So that's the plan. And so that's like the absolute last part of this is, can we pull this off without upgrading to lithium?
I sure hope so.
I mean, the beauty of it is that if we did have to, there's so many other benefits. So just having lithium.
I guess.
So it's not really a loss, but I'm trying to do it this way because we have lots of life in lead acid and I'd like to use it up. I don't like to waste things. It's working. So.
Exactly.
And we have our new rail solar. The whole idea there was extra juice for this. We've never tested it with that on, actually.
Yeah.
Come to think of it.
Yeah, that's right. We didn't have those side panels before.
No. And this time of day is cranking, so let's get to it.
Yeah. All right, let's go. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. It has been initiated. I do not see any bubbles or anything really in here yet. Waistline flow is good. Pulling 12 amps, okay. All right, sounds good. Product water is very minimal, but there is some. All right, we've been running this thing for about 5 minutes so far, and we are getting between 4 and 6 gallons in our float here. Just got some cloud cover and the voltage kind of dropped a little bit, which is interesting. Between 4 and 6.
That's good.
And what's the amps that you're seeing that it's pulling?
It's only pulling like 20 now instead of 55, but that's a lot less water though than we want.
It is, yeah.
Look at that, when the solar comes out, the pressure goes up.
Oh, I see.
I don't like that. So I gotta set it to when there's a big pulse of sun. But look, we're actually taking in power right now. It's not costing us anything, so that's a pro.
That's good.
Yeah.
Checking out
so
our
you're getting
Patron.
water out the product line in the sink.
Yep. Product water, baby amounts. Wastewater, less amount. We've got this really big cloud here that's cramping our style. Sun's gonna come out pretty soon here.
Pulling 13.5 volts and the system voltage is 13.8. So we have that question we always had about, is it somehow choking electrically? It was never the case.
Okay.
Which makes sense because I designed it frickin' to be that way. So 13.7 on a 14, so we get like a 0.3 voltage loss on the whole system, which is nothing. That's right at the moment. So that's good. So that settles that. Yeah, like I just put us at 900.
Oh.
We almost just had that blow up in our face. I said at 950, that thing was about to pop off.
Shit.
Okay, we're learning, right? Everything's a learning thing. Now we know that's a flaw of this type of system design.
Yeah.
That's why it's better to run it on battery at night. I would have controlled voltage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to worry about that here.
It's not going to randomly go up. Hey, figure we might as well try to capture some of this water, so I can use it for laundry or something. Hey, do some thermal testing of some areas here.
Yeah, so look, 113. I dropped the pressure there. You can see that now. It's not running at 30 plus PSI.
Yeah.
And there's, watch the temperature here. That was running, what, like 140 by the time we were done last time?
Yeah.
So, and I know the pump can do 140 continuous, so I don't really need to do anything. Numbers are now within like a safety zone that makes sense.
Yeah.
The water production's lower. I knew it would be.
Yeah.
We're getting exactly what I was fearing would happen based on the math. But
yeah. Between 5 and 6 gallons right now.
Yeah.
An hour.
Yeah. So, but we're just learning this. So in the future, if we want it, we can always put a bigger membrane and change things and make it stronger. But right now, to get, you know, what would this be 3 hours running, we'd get 15 gallons of water. We never had that before. And there's 3 jerry cans for doing nothing other than running it.
Oh yeah. Exciting!
An air bubble.
Maybe. Our product water just like skyrocketed, and we're now at about between 7 and 8 gallons per hour. And we're taking 30 amps.
Yeah, so it's taking more power, giving more water.
That makes more sense.
But what was that?
But why did it, yeah.
The pressure
some sort
shot
of
up like massive. I'm surprised I didn't get sprayed down.
Yeah, like an airlock bubble or something
That
maybe?
was crickets. Yeah,
it was weird. The noise that you're hearing right now all of a sudden went, and then we're like, ah, what's happening?
Well, we're going with air bubble. So
air bubble, yeah.
Micro bubbles over there?
Yes, in the wastewater we're getting micro bubbles. And we're still getting between 7 and 8 gallons. And I gotta get a new container for that.
Top down if you can.
Okay.
30 amps.
Oh. On there.
30 amps, and I'm running just over 800, no, about 800. So that's more like it now. Okay. So that was interesting.
Right,
That's even better, wow. Okay.
That is a much better.
HBO.
And here is the flow now. That's more like it. Time to collect some of our freshly made water.
Check our quality, babe.
Very exciting. Oh yes, just living the life of luxury. Almost fell out. I think that's enough for a taste.
Sure, yeah, all right. Was she pregnant? No.
Oh my goodness.
Meter.
All right, we are going to be testing out
our water,
and we're going to taste the water afterwards as well. Decided to come out on the bow.
Okay, we're looking for the lowest number possible.
All right, let's take a look.
90, you said 150 before.
Oh.
That's higher now. Okay, well let's clear it. Let's clear it. Is that 190 is that first round? Let's try this again. 194, we're going up.
Oh, 195? What?
That's definitely higher than I would want.
I swear it was lower before. All right, well. For now, that's what it is.
Sucks, I guess. I don't know what's up with the membrane.
We'll have to, okay, hold on. All right, taste test time.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. not even cold and it tastes perfect.
It does taste actually pretty perfect right now. This was a successful day. We made water, finally, after how many years of struggling? Cheers again to you. Success. Thank you so much to all of our patrons for supporting our channel. You are helping to keep this dream going so we can share it all with you. If you'd like to join the Joco crew, we'll have a link down below.